pulling out some really good aggression and actually getting a 4-cap here and there throughout that second match. Despite actually losing their momentum a little bit in the middle, it looks like PECS could make a pull out a comeback, but Feel the Vibe pulled through at the very end and drove home the victory.
Oh yeah, to answer chat, there were a couple people that did some comedic spellings of those two champions in chat, and that's why I was reading them as Darius and Kazakhstan. It's just a comedic thing. We're seeing Poppy and Jace banned out as well. Poppy's got Outlandish Burst, Invincibility. You're banning Jax because of Sauron, and banning Urgot because he's what is that? I'm trying to think of the Centurion's intro because I want to make a part man, part machine, power extreme joke, but I don't got it. So you guys fill that in yourselves, viewers. You know what's up. And Jace getting banned, and now we get to see what kind of picks are going to get made in this game 3, these finals. One of these teams gets to win. I can't talk louder than this because I effed up my voice at a rock concert. I'm sorry, viewers. I apologize for my whatever it is. And the more that I talk in a row, the worse it gets. Throw to Chobra.
Yeah, someone was just pointing out, and I was about to say, and we are looking at it, Vayne was not banned, so Budo Rise is like, heck yeah, and locks in Vayne right away. But meanwhile, in feed, for PECS locks in Ezreal right away. Ezreal also not banned, so we are going to see the ranged AD carries make a return, one on each side for this final match. Meanwhile, Sauron locks in that Nunu for Feel the Vibe. Usually that's Infeed's go-to pick, but they decided that, Ezreal was open. So PECS wanted to take Ezreal away, most likely going to toss it over to Captain Blueberry. We are also seeing a Rengar highlight. I mean, Kha'Zix kind of, I think, overshadowed Rengar in most ways, but Rengar is still a pretty strong champion. As people mentioned earlier in stream chat, he doesn't have a disengage though, so we'll see how that happens. But Blueberry did in fact lock in that Rengar. Meanwhile, Painkiller looking at Malphite, most likely gonna lock in. I see no reason to not take Malphite, especially against someone very, very reliant on attack speed such as Vayne, especially because they also have Nunu, so you want to at least counteract some form of attack speed.
And that's a good combination of champions for it. Because Ezreal has an attack speed reduction, if I remember correctly, off of his, whatever his gold shot is. And, sorry, my brain's not working right. Malphite's got Ground Slam for an AoE attack speed reduction, so it's really good. And that synchronizes really well, but the problem is they have to be able to deliver that, is the thing. Now, if they can get to Budo Rice's Vayne to be able to deliver that damage, then they will get that attack speed reduction. But if they can't actually get to Vayne, then Budo Rice is just gonna he's gonna run the game. He's gonna put the train on the tracks and he's just gonna roll out.
We are looking at Pantheon and Singed getting highlighted for Feel the Vibe. Switching to Garen over Pantheon. We'll see how that works out. It is, in fact, going to be a Garen lock-in. Armor locking that Garen and Chris I am locking in that Singed. So just a couple more picks left for this finals match. We are looking at Half-Hearted highlighting Brand once again. Just loves to play that Brand. And the enemy team doesn't seem too concerned about it. I mean, they've left it open a couple times now. And we'll see if they're going to pay for that once again.
I think I've seen Armor play Garen before.
I'm not so sure. I mean, Garen...
I'm trying to remember if I think we've seen a Garen before. But Garen's a champion that we don't see terribly often. But I feel like he could be good because he has the crowd control removal. And he's pretty fast. And he's pretty sustainable. So it seems like he'd be a good tanky brawler champ. We just don't see him very often. He's a little susceptible to kiting, though, is the thing. But I don't really see any kite champs on the enemy team. I mean, maybe Malphite, it's slow. But it's really... there's nothing that's going to kite him around.
I mean, Ezreal could, but usually Ezreal's probably just going to hop over a wall and put out the damage, so...
Yeah. Rengar has to get in to do damage, so he has to fight him in his face. I mean, Bran with Riley's, yeah, but I mean that's not going to happen for a little while in the game. And Diana's also a close range champion, but I mean we'll probably see Diana bottom if anything.
I mean, Brand could if he opts to go for a Rylai's, but there's always that question of, is that
Yeah, when does he get
worth
it?
it? Yeah, I mean, we'll see how that works out. Of course, he could kite with his stun, and then just wait for the dots to do their job on
Ooh.
Garen, maybe. And we are looking at Maokai. So purple team, which is Feel the Vibe, is looking extremely tanky right now, while blue team is looking very, very dangerous. So some good assassination capabilities coming out from blue team. I mean, Brand up to a point can really just burst someone down, especially Vayne, so squishy, going to just get melted by Brand's fire, and then commentaries on Diana, also very, very good kind of jump through anti-carry assassination type. Same thing with Rengar. And if they take out Vayne, how much else can Field of Vibe really do? I'm not so sure.
Well, if Sauron's playing Garen, I have the utmost faith in his judgment because I think he's the only player that's broken 2800 ELO ever. So he knows what's up. Sauron can do this. I'm gonna put all of my faith in that. We're gonna see some Garen like we've never seen before, kind of Garen. This is just gonna be interesting because I don't know how this works, but you viewers get to learn along with me and Chobra. Oh, is
Pretty
there a
much.
3K on Telenoob on a different server?
On EUS, there has been for Ellen Lord broke 3K. I think he's been dipping back and forth, but he just broke it
Wow,
about a
that is
week ago.
damned impressive.
Yep, pretty crazy.
Any other above 2800s? Just those two guys? I'm talking like peak yellow. I think nothing left to lose broke it at one point maybe. Cause I know he was up there with Sauron for a while. Wow. It's all right. We clearly those two have to like have a 1v1 proving grounds best of 91, something like that. Hello, Venny. Who won game two? It was yeah. It's answered in the chat. Sorry. Yes, Draculon. This thing is still going on. Best of three finals, yo. We're going to game three. Round of 16 now, closing out on the final game for today. We have Feel the Vibe versus that other
PECS.
team.
Pays Evelyn
PECS.
child
Thank
support.
you. Pays Evelyn Child Support. This is how you cast Dominion. You say something, you forget what you were doing, throw to Chobra. And then if Chobra's feeling nice, he won't throw it on the ground. It'll be great. You guys got any questions in the chat? I feel like we've gone over a lot of the champions, a lot of the bans and things like that pretty thoroughly. If you guys have any questions in the chat about any of this stuff, let us know. We'll try and answer them as best we can. Revive's great. It gives you extra hit points, gets you back on the field faster. The only way to counter revives with a ground. With a what? The only way to counter a ground is with a what? The only way to counter I gotta stop looking at the chat. The only way to counter a revive is with another revive. I saw Venny type ground thrower and I got the word ground stuck in my head.
Yeah, but Revive, we talked about it briefly earlier, but yeah, for those of you who are new, that's pretty much it. It's really just because the only way to counter it is with another one, and it is strong. So that is the reason for Revive. We're seeing a lot of garrisons, of course, unique to Dominion, and for very good reason. It is very helpful in defending towers, or even taking them, or if you want to kind of like tower dive them rather. And then Exhaust, of course, is overall one of the best summoner spells in my opinion. I mean, it it never hurts to take Exhaust. Let's put it that way. It's always going to be useful, especially if you're kind of going in for a duel, or if you need to kite and run away and such. So we'll see how that works out. Otherwise, nothing too special in terms of summoner spells here. Pretty standard. Revives, Garrisons, Exhaust, nothing else.
Also, if there's any Europe West viewers watching the stream, I know I don't have the contact info for a lot of you guys, but I'd love to come by and check out your guys' tourney at some point and see some games and things from that. To kind of compare how games over there work compared to games over here, kind of like evaluate their strategies and stuff like that are different. Maybe Castle. I know you recycled, um, but I don't know how many of the US guys watch. But I don't know if my voice is up to hanging out tomorrow or not because you see the longer a sentence goes on, the worse it gets. So I like I don't know, but yeah, a shout out to EU West. If you have any friends that play on Europe or you play on Europe yourself, sometimes there's a chat channel over there called Dominion that you can get in on and meet up with a lot of other really cool Dominion players. The Europe guys are all really, really nice. Whenever I actually have spare time to play, I'm leveling up an account over there slowly. I'm Gander on NA or on EU, and you can find me over there. So yeah, definitely check it out. If you know anyone that's on Europe, Europe also has its own tournaments for Dominion run by an organization called 4PL. So if you're on NA, play here. If you're on EU, play over there. If you're on both, you know what to do.
There you go. We are now loading in for the final match of this week's tournament. And this is the point where the casters run out of things to say until the action happens, which is an excruciatingly long time if you really think about it, because 3 minutes after the picks are finished, actually it's 4 minutes because you have that waiting time for people to change some of the spells and whatnot. And then there's a loading screen. Then there's another like minute and 30, is it, for the summoner platforms to finish. Very, very long time. But we are finally in. Everyone leveling up to level 3
man.
instantly.
Dude, I loaded into the game.
Oh man.
All right. We're in game
Whoa.
3 of the finals. DominateDominion.com League of Legends Dominion Tournament number 24. And yeah, best of 3. We're going to game 3, guys. This is going to be Pays Evelyn Child Support versus Feel the Vibe on Pays Evelyn Child Support's side of the map on the left side. On the blue team, we have Idfeed playing as Redgar, Captain Blueberry playing as Ezreal, Painkiller playing as Malphite, Confidarius playing as Diana, and we have Half-Hearted playing as Brand. And I'm one half your casting duo this week. The slightly voice messed up due to concert rock. Gander casting with
Over here we have on the red side, it is going to be Field of Vibe, Sauron on Garen, Budarice on Vayne, Armor on Nunu, Chris Heim on Singed, Necrogen on Maokai. And what I wanted to say, people saw me zoom in onto Vayne as Budarice is spamming, I guess that was slash dance. It looked like Vayne was doing the Gangnam Style dance. Just gonna put that out there.
Oh man, I'm sure they're gonna put that in the game at some point. It's gonna be awesome and terrible. I'm waiting for them to play it at an MLG or something like that, so the whole crowd can just kind of start.
They
crazy.
played it at the StarCraft booth at MLG Rally, and the crowd went wild.
Oh, I missed that.
It was pretty funny.
Right.
They just blasted it throughout the entire place. It was pretty funny because I was like watching League of Legends and suddenly everyone's like, "What the heck is going on over there?" And you see them just having like a dance party in the spectator section. Was pretty awesome, but the game has begun. Standard start once again from both teams. Nunu gonna speed up there with Vayne with that Blood Boil extra speed buff. The Mystic Shot will hit, but unfortunately the Fireball from Half-Hearted will not connect with anyone just yet. Again, both teams just going for a little bit poke. Right now we do see that PECS has an extreme advantage in terms of poke ability. I mean, Half-Hearted is across the wall. We see Captain Blueberry putting in some good Mystic Shots. If Feel the Vibe wants to do something, they need to just hard engage into the fight right now. And Infy's actually going to jump out of the brush and kite a little bit. And that's going to bring Sauron into the brush up at the top, putting out a lot of damage with that spin to win. Meanwhile, Painkiller is dueling Budarice. Budarice was kind of left alone, but eventually will be joined by her teammates once again. Nunu will go down immediately, but that's going to be a trade against Rengar as Garen picks up the kill there. Meanwhile, Painkiller is actually getting chased away by Budarice. Can the last Silver Bulls will pick up the kill. Meanwhile, Captain Blueberry also getting taken down with one more auto attack. Good dodge by Budarice on that Fireball, not to get stunned by Half-Hearted. Now chasing down that Brand as he leaves Singed and Garen to pick up the windmill. Good condemn, chasing away Infy, but they went through the brush, so Infy's going to be able to jump through. Rengar is able to jump through the brushes. Budarice going through the brush once again. Final jump, allowing Rengar to just catch up time and time again for that kill.
Multiple jumps in a row right there, being landed one after another. Chris IM running back and retreating up to the top tower here to try and defend against Painkiller and Captain Blueberry, who are pushing on it right now. And I don't know if he's going to make a dive for this or not. He's going to wait. He's going to throw down the Garrison on it. Nice move right there by Chris IM. You see him moving out to the side. His new Captain Blueberry was going to opt to shoot into those bushes. Tries to move out to get a little bit more disruption going on, and really isn't able to do so. Gets taken out pretty quickly. But Sauron and Budarice are able to get up to the top of the windmill. But Budarice is going to get caught, so try and tumble away, and isn't quite able to escape. Unfortunately, Sauron dives in there to a little bit of damage as well. But Feel the Vibe isn't terribly collected at the moment.
And Captain Blueberry actually dodged the spin to win with that Arcane Shift. And Sauron was kind of like, hey, where'd my target go? And had to run right back into the thick of things. Meanwhile, Armor tries to chase Envy, but a great Unstoppable Force and a Pyroclasm, great combo coming out from PECS, stopping that chase onto Rengar. Meanwhile, Chris I Am is left alone to chase though. Envy trying to jump in and out, is going to get out with the health restoration from that roar with the 5 stacks of ferocity. Meanwhile, Hayfarden gets caught by Sauron and maybe Chris I Am. Chris I Am going to get the fling, gonna fling him right out of tower range. Sauron tries to get the channel, but he's going to have to dodge the ability. On top of that, Garrison coming out from Brand. So the windmill is still in favor of PECS for the time being, but he needs reinforcements fast. He's stuck on that super adhesive, and Chris I Am is just looking for an opportunity, trying to push down the wave as Armor shows up from the bottom side. Buddha Rice shows up from the lane. And going to zone him on Sauron, going for the kill onto Brand, does get it with that last auto tap. And then there's a great Absolute and a condemned combination coming out from Field of 5, securing that kill against Captain Blueberry's Ezreal.
A lot of minions up there too to help them push that tower over in their favor. Infeed and Painkiller just going to kind of hang out. Just going to kind of hang out a little bit away from the point there. And regroup just a tad, wait by their time. Infeed is going to pick up this center relic in the middle of the map. And down at the bottom end of the map, Confederatus and Necrogen, they're just kind of hanging out. Both of them are kind of okay on mana, both of them kind of okay on health. Seeing a little bit of a damage exchange here, seeing a little bit of a fight, which was more of a little bit of an exchange. They're just trading phone numbers, walking in, hey, here's my number, hey, here's your number. But that's how you talk in League of Legends, is by pressing, QWER. And not terribly good at conversation. But up in the middle of the map, we have a little bit of a zoning game going on. They don't want Buddha Rice to be able to get that Storm Shield, because Vayne with Storm Shield's kind of scary. She adds a lot of extra damage. And Sauron, though, in the bushes, silencing a Malphite. And Malphite diving in a little bit. It's got that attack speed aura, but he's delivered it onto Sauron. He needs to really tag Buddha Rice's Vayne with that. Infeed taking some slow there. Walking around a little bit, looking for some bushes. Infeed loves bushes with Rengar.
And we are going to see a fight break out as Unstoppable Force actually only connects with Sauron and Garen. The attack speed debuff also not connected with Buddha Rice, and that's going to allow Vayne to just crush Infeed as Rengar jumps onto that Vayne. Pyroclasm does connect with a lot of people. Infeed actually jumps right out of the brush for that assassination, gets the revenge kill, but Sauron's going to chase through and get the revenge kill in favor of Vayne. Now Armor has been tagged with that dot from Brand, but going to run away and be safe for the time being. Meanwhile, Hayfarden trying to kite away from both Garen and Singe, but it's not going to matter with that spindling coming out from Garen. He's still chasing through with that extra armor and MR. And Chris I Am now running through, and I'm assuming that was the minions doing, because Brand just kind of melted as soon as he entered lane, and the kill credit went to Garen.
Yeah, probably was minion aggro or something related to that, as he was able to escape. But I really like the play there with Chris I Am throwing down the adhesive to block the path. So he knew that, well, if I turn left, I'm going to get slowed and killed. So my only choice is to run straight, and kind of controlling where the enemy player goes with that adhesive. So it's a very nice game sense that Chris I Am displayed right there in the last engagement. Both teams just kind of hanging out at the moment right here, taking a look at people's abilities and things like that. And Vayne's going for the tumble first, followed by True Silverbolt. It's only taking 1 rank in that condemn. But now we have a play getting made up at the top. Painkiller getting caught strangely. Malphite being the one that they engage right there, because they could not reach Captain Blueberry. Malphite was the only thing available to them. Painkiller. So they threw Painkiller into the mix. They got him locked down for a little bit, were able to deliver a lot of extra damage on him rather than try and ignore him and go for Blueberry in that engagement, although they are pinned up against their tower right now.
Yep, we are seeing some good poke come out from Blueberry and Hayfarden once again. They've kept the enemies all quite low. And Armor going in for that feast onto the minion, but it's not going to do enough, as we see Blueberry putting out some damage and actually brings Armor down lower. Not sure if that consume was worth it. Unstoppable Force goes in once again, but it again only hits 1%. Buddha Rice goes through the entire fight with her stealth, tries to dodge away from that Pyroclasm, but it's going to bounce off of the minions and come right back to haunt her and take her out. Hayfarden very, very well played there. Infeed coming in alone with that stealth, tries to put out some good damage. Not landing the full combo, but Hayfarden will help pick up that kill onto Singed. But here comes Garen. Look at that damage going down onto Rengar. So much damage being done by Sauron's Garen right now. Wanting to still chase down Hayfarden, but they will just give up. I mean, they still hold the windmill, so Feel the Vibe is feeling pretty happy right now.
And Sauron using an opening build that I really, really like for AD champions, where you get your boots and you buy a bunch of long swords and you convert them into stuff. You buy 3 or 4 longswords, whatever, how many you're going to need throughout the game. I mean, you need 2 of them for brutalizer, you need 1 of them for a phage, and then you need another one for, I forget what the other item is. You just buy all those in a row, and it gives you a nice damage boost in the the early to mid game transition. It gives you a bunch of more damage at the cost of utility effects and other stats. So you hit really, really hard for a little while, and then you start turning into other items. But you see Half-Hard there near the center of the map getting caught, unfortunately. Sauron was able to slip away out the bottom, and Captain Blueberry was able to slip away out through the top. The different damage dealers getting away through different avenues. And now Sauron in the mix of things right there. Twisted Advance goes in on infeed right now, and we have all 5 players feel the vibe up in the center of the map at the moment. We have an Absolute Zero goes off, but is maybe used to zone more than was for damage, force Painkiller to go up. And now Confitarius is getting taken out, and Blueberry and Painkiller are on the retreat now. Armor trying to keep up with them, but he is able to do so. Blueberry does decide to hang out in those bushes there. And Blueberry, walk in there, please. Blueberry. Oh, I wanted to see a cool sapling play, but looks like it was not going to happen. See Half-Hard checking those bushes there with his Hextech Sweeper now, and lighting Armor up right there. Armor going to go down. Diana's returned to her lane down at the bottom. While that was all going on, Necrogen was going to make a play for the top, but was only able to get it to half capture.
Yeah, the tower was neutralized by minions in favor of PECS, so we saw Necrogen rush up. Look at Rengar just getting melted by Garen every time. Garen actually stayed on top of Rengar pretty much the entire duration of that stealth. This is great Pyroclasm, but the enemies are so tanky, it's not going to matter. They did split up just in time for it to not bounce that one last time, and Garen trying to chase through onto Painkiller, but going to get stopped by Blueberry. Very, very good save. Meanwhile, top Rengar comes out of nowhere and picks out the kill onto Maokai, and Blueberry comes in for another kill to save his teammates and catch the windmill for PECS.
And pays him with child support now, picking up that point at the top, but a play going on down the bottom end of the map. Necrogen and Armor going for Confidars. Confidars gets a sense of what's going on here and does not want any of it. Whoa, Lunar Rush extended Twisted Advance combo right there. And that escape, not so much of an escape anymore, just due to the timing which those abilities were used at, and Diana is going to go down, unfortunately, which is going to force someone to come down for a moment. See Painkiller positioning himself there, and you see Brand in the middle of the map, in feed Captain Blueberry in the middle of the map. You don't necessarily need to be tied to a point. A lot of times when you're playing Dominion, you'll see someone up at the top behind the windmill and someone at the bottom down behind the boneyard. When you can collect your team in the middle of the map and kind of be sort of grouped up. Chris, I am trying to grab that Storm Shield, but they do not want him to have any of that. He is going to go ahead and run on out of there, using that adhesive to his advantage to slow the enemy, dropping it in the path behind him between them and the enemy. And that's Sauron hanging around up near the Storm Relic now. Maokai with a sapling up there for a little bit extra spare vision in that one bush, should some unfortunate traveler decide to walk into it.
Meanwhile, Two-Shot Barrage is going to stop the cap by Chris I Am and Budarice here at the windmill. That gives Hayfarn and Blueberry just enough time, and it's actually going to be a full fight once again. Infeed goes straight for Budarice, but does get condemned against the wall. There's a great Pyroclasm going off against the enemy teams. Once again, not able to tag Budarice, so too far behind Budarice, kiting Rengar successfully, taking the kill and still surviving. All 4 members still alive. Unstoppable Force once again missing the main target, which is Vayne. And all 4 members are still alive from Field of Vibe. They're being dominant in this team fight. Can Hayfar to pick up even maybe 1 kill. Blueberry is going to come up to assist. Infeed has come back with that revive. We are going to see PECS try to defend this windmill at all costs. Blueberry just constantly fighting against this Nunu. And Nunu should eventually go down. He's completely sandwiched between 3 members of the enemy team. The minion wave has been pushed back. PECS still holds onto the windmill, while Confitarius was able to capture the Boneyard after taking down Necrogen.
So Infeed turning it around a little, or Infeed and his team, pays over child support, turning it around a little bit down here. Confidarius going down to interrupt Necrogen, keep that point neutral, although there are minions coming in for that. Middle of the map, Infeed getting caught in a pretty bad spot, getting slowed. Painkiller coming in to disrupt things a little bit, is able to land that attack speed slow pretty good, but Rengar, one of their main sources damage, being taken down, is going to force Painkiller to retreat away from that point, but just getting chipped away by Vayne there, unfortunately. Just shot after shot after shot, and Vayne with that Phantom Dancer really able to get that movement speed, have that very, very good chase, and descending upon the bottom point now. Half-Heart is down there by himself. He's hanging just outside of line of sight in the fog of war over there. So they think that the point is open, but really Half-Heart, surprise Vayne, I'm right here, but at the same time, hi, I'm Sauron, you are Half-Heart. I have a sword and snowball and a poison dart launcher gun thing, and it's really, really bad. Half-Heart gets taken down. Painkiller and Infeed are going to come down from an upper point. You're going to throw down a garrison on that tower. Armor going to take a little bit of damage from the tower. And now Sauron is in an icky spot, and things don't look so good for him.
He will eventually go down, but look at how much damage he's able to soak in. He's so tanky already, but he does so much damage, like you mentioned, starting with those long swords and then building in their respective build parts with that brutalizer, with that phage. Now he's looking to build a Randuin's at some point with that Warden's Mill. That's going to allow him to chase down Vayne, even if she tries to kite. Meanwhile, Rengar is taking a ton of damage from Maokai, but with Malphite's help, can they get the kill? They will get the kill, but here comes Singed. Rengar using his ultimate to stealth out of there for the time being. We are going to see Half-Hearted show up alongside Blueberry. They're going to go back in for the kill onto Chris I Am. Rengar jumps in, puts down his burst, and then walks away before Singed is able to fling him into a longer duration of the poison trail as he just did to Malphite. Meanwhile, Nunu gets stunned and takes a full Pillar of Flame, and there's the Pyroclasm, and it lands actually perfect timing as Sauron shows up. There's some Force though, and that's going to allow Armor to put out a good duration absolute 0, but he's forced to run away as he's at low health. Meanwhile, Garen gets the kill onto Malphite, but Captain Blueberry was putting out some free damage throughout that entire skirmish, so they pick up yet another kill. PECS takes the windmill once again for a 3 cap in their favor. Meanwhile, bottom, Converteris finally gets condemned against the corner of that wall by Buddha Rice and instantly gets bursted down by Necrogen's Maokai. We are going to see Blueberry and Infeed hopefully show up here at the quarry to stop this. There's a True Shot Barrage that's going to interrupt Vayne, which is going to force her back because of her low health, and Infeed showing up also is going to scare away Necrogen's Maokai.
And in that engagement up top a moment ago, Infeed showing some very good some good play just as a player in general. You saw him as Rengar get really low on health and maneuver around and still stay active in the fight, because if you are not dead and you have mana, you are still valuable. Even if you only have 100, 200 health, as long as you can engage correctly, you can still deploy a lot of damage. And Painkiller, that's where the Painkiller survival method comes from. A lot of damage being exchanged up here at the top, though. No big play yet. Painkiller stand out a little bit away from the rest of everyone else, and Painkiller now getting separated severely there and getting taken out. And that's really going to change the dynamic of the fight up here at the top with him down. But Infeed sees an opportunity to go for Vayne, and that not going to have any of that. I think there was a Condemn that went off that sent him into the wall there, and being pursued by Sauron does not help his health score any at all. Captain Blueberry can do a lot of damage here, though. There are a lot of champions that are really low on hit points, and Blueberry can clean this up if he does it right, though that's not the right corner. That is the right corner. Actually, that's literally a right corner from that walkway. And yeah, Buddha Rice getting it right with the corner there, and is going to take down Captain Blueberry there, and it's going to enable Field of Vibe to pick up the windmill. You really have to avoid walls as best you can. I know there are so many walls on the Crystal Scar. Poppy and Vayne really excel on this map for that reason, and if you can oh man, there's just such a great opportunity for him there to be able to get up there and clean that up, but a very good Condemn placement by Buddha Rice was able to help his team steal that deal. However, they're going to go for this. They're probably going to get the neutral because they do have minions, but it's 4v2 right now, and their target is Infeed. Saw that Hextech Sweeper go off up above the battle there. It was sent off by Nunu to be able to reveal any of Rengar's plays that were going on. Hextech Sweeper is a great item to have, and now Half-Hearted getting singled out, but Captain Blueberry just kind of standing outside, getting those shots off. That's how you need to play Ezreal in this game type. Stand back, shoot, Half-Hearted's taking some damage, and then Captain Blueberry's going to jump away, keep that distance, keep delivering that damage. And he wasn't really able to stop the point being captured by himself because of how fragile he is, but by softening up the enemy a little bit, he's still able to help out his team. And Brand now has picked up that Rylai's Crystal Scepter that you were talking about. He's going to maybe have that kite ability now. 17 minutes into the game, though. Is that going to be enough to turn it around? We still have quite a ways to go before this is over.
Ooh, Rengar tried to use his ultimate to catch any stragglers, but the ultimate ended before he was able to jump in. That only gives him the free 5 charges on Ferocity. Meanwhile, they do catch... oh man, that fling actually put Rengar back into the brush, allowing him to jump back onto Singed and continue the chase. What a positioning game this is. Buddha Rice trying to get a Condemn. The Condemn will land onto Diana, but not the stun portion. Diana still goes down to the Poison Trail and the fling by Singed. Meanwhile, a good Absolute Zero coming up from Armor bursts down Rengar, and then Armor's going to just take a couple of auto attacks and snowball to the face for Rengar to get that kill. Meanwhile, Blueberry now putting out some damage onto Armor on Nunu with that minion wave in his favor, but he's taking a lot of chunk damage from the Ice Ball, and here comes Buddha Rice for that chase. Just 2 hits is all it takes, 1 crit, and that's a death against Ezreal.
Painkiller going to get taken out. Chris I am with the fling. Singe with a nice chase there is going to deflect that. Feel the Vibe is they're in a good spot right now. They have good control of the map. Garen's in the middle. They're pushing a lane. Garen's gonna have that Storm Shield in just a moment. People from Peso and Child Sport are back at the base. Rengar's just out there, kind of on his own. Brand's only just now caught up, and they're not gonna be able to save that tower from going neutral. However, they get a good engagement in on Buddha Rice right there. Extra damage coming in from Ezreal from downtown, but they're really not able to seal the deal, unfortunately. Buddha Rice now in the back of the fight, still alive, trying to get some hits in, but Painkiller not able to land the airborne. He is able to land the ground slam, excuse me, and the Randuins, which really impairs Buddha Rice's attack speed for a moment. And that was good, but there's really nothing to follow that up with. Now Sauron diving into the fight using that Demacian Justice? His ultimate there to finish off Malphite, and Feel the Vibe pushing very aggressively on this refinery. I think they might get it.
Yep, they are going to capture the refinery, and that's a 4 cap for Feel the Vibe. They're looking really good right now. They're trying to burst down Half-Hearted, and they will get the kill. However, Rengar comes up, and Envy's going to take out Buddha Rice's Vayne. Now dueling against Armor's Nunu will get slowed by that super adhesive, but actually used his Ferocity Prize before he was able to get his war down, and not able to get that health back, now getting kited by that snowball. Blueberry has shown up with a lot of damage, though. Look at those crits going down onto Armor's Nunu, but he's taking so much tower damage, finally is able to channel against it. Can they stop, or can they fully capture this tower before Garen shows up? He's actually going to get chased away by a full health Painkiller's Malphite.
I believe it takes 2 seconds between click on tower and capture begins, or interrupts rather, in the case of a neutral tower. And that 2 seconds against 4 people, not a situation you want to be in. Sauron saw that and he was just turned around and backed off.
Meanwhile, we do see Half-Hearted going to pick up that Storm Shield for PECS. Feel the Vibe also gathering around the middle of the map right now. Are we going to see a play for the windmill from both teams? Rengar is kind of roaming about the bottom portion. Meanwhile, Nunu did spot Painkiller walking back and forth here next to a Tri-Brush area, as we see Ezreal making a play for the windmill. Buddha Rice shows himself as Chris I am shows up for the zoning and the cutoff, putting down the poison trail against the entire enemy team and the adhesive. And there's a great Pyroclasm bouncing back and forth between Vayne and Nunu, but no one to follow that damage with. Blueberry has already been zoned so far that he's not able to damage anybody. He's only able to put down the True Shot Barrage, and now he's trying to kite Chris I am, but that allows Chris I am to put down the super adhesive right below his feet, and Blueberry now forced to run away as Buddha Rice shows up. There's the exhaust on Blueberry for a short time being. Buddha Rice now dealing with that Malphite and now jumping onto that Ezreal for another double kill, and we'll Feel the Vibe get another 4 cap. That should secure the game. They are going to get the neutralize despite Malphite's attempts to stop them. There's the shutdown by Ezreal onto Vayne though, and a double kill this time around for Blueberry. They need to rush towards the windmill right now. PECS needs to make a play as Rengar catches Singed on the retreat. 3 people heading for the windmill. They have the damage buff. Can they capture this and secure it for a long enough time for them to gain momentum? Right now at the bottom, Confrontarius is trapped between Sauron and Armor and is forced to run before that Demacian Justice comes down and takes out the kill. It's still a 4 cap for Resecond and then a 3 cap for PECS, but they have a long ways to go if they want to win this game.
They can still win it. That's one thing to note. You are never out in Dominion. I saw there was a game back, Dominate Dominion number 2, where Peso and Child Support won with 2 Nexus health against Point Defense back some number of weeks ago, back 22 weeks ago. So 33 Nexus health, they can keep this. You know, they can roll for a while. They can make only minor mistakes, however, because if the enemy keeps the other tower for any length of time, it's going to go really bad for them.
And we are going to see Feel the Vibe making a play for the windmill, and they are there first. There's a True Shot Barrage that's going to hit 2 people. Armor still getting some good channel onto their forces. The Garrison out of PECS. Finally, a great unstoppable force landing down onto Buddha Rice along with that Pyroclasm. The fling is actually going to bring Half-Hearted to safety. Malphite almost gets the kill, but Rengar comes in from behind, takes out Vayne at that very last second. This is looking really good for PECS. They take out Armor as he was trying to zone Blueberry. Half-Hearted is still getting flung back and forth, but it doesn't matter. They've caught Singed. They've wiped out everyone else. That's another kill for PECS. It's a 3-4-0 trade. Actually, I think it's 4 because Sauron just used his revive to now rush towards the bottom. Of course, alone he can't do anything top, but maybe he can do something bottom here with Necrogen's Maokai. They're going to go straight for the tower. They saw that Confrontarius went back to base, and that's going to draw the attention of not only Confrontarius but also Infeed. Can they stop the neutralize? No, the neutralize is going to land by Garen. and Maokai, and they start a fight, and this is not a fight for commentators or Infeed. The enemies are two great bruisers right now. They're only kind of squishy assassins. There's the Massive Justice, but here comes Blueberry, who's able to chunk through the enemy tanky figures, but Blueberry does get caught. No, commentators comes back with that Lunar Rush after that revive. They're going to get the kill. Someone needs to capture the quarry, though, as the top is being pressured up at the windmill. They need to even out. There's a great garrison from over the wall by Havehearted, but Vayne is still channeling. No, they're going to stop the channel, and despite the minions, the garrison's going to heal the tower back up just ever so slightly. He needs to stop Armor right now and take the minions out. No, the minions will get them neutralized. The windmill has been neutralized right now. Clock is stopped. Meanwhile, Painkiller getting zoned away actually by Buddha Rice himself. But here comes Havehearted and Blueberry. They will be able to pick up the kill. And PECS looking to recapture the windmill to hold on to dear victory.
That Hextech Sweeper revealing Vayne up there, very good use of that. It's a great item to have handy. Half-Hard gets one, I think, every game. And Chris I Am going for Confederaris down here. Confederaris sees that he could feasibly take out Chris I Am, but now Necrogen there to deliver the Twisted Advance and help lock him down. Infeed's going to have to pop that ultimate you see him running for. He's going for Chris I Am, and he's able to connect and is able to cut him down to size. However, Necrogen, it looks like he is going to get the kill off on Confederaris. And now Sauron down there, Sauron, Necrogen, the Batman and Robin of Dominion in the bottom lane, shutting that down. Now they're going for the capture right here, but Half-Heart is there. And can Half-Hearted do it? Is he going to be able to keep Sauron away from this point? Clock stop, 33 to 80, 2 points to 2 points.
Sauron just milling about next to this brand. Garen is getting kited quite a bit though, taking a lot of damage. Is going to be forced to retreat at some point, but right now all Garen wants to do is stall. Maybe if they can capture the windmill, it's going to be a 3-cap in their favor. Right now the clock is stopped at 2-2, so if that stays neutral, it's in favor of Feel the Vibe because they haven't pressured the top, but they did just get wiped. Both Armor and Buddha Rice getting taken out, and now it's just Chris I Am alone, but now Chris I Am also in danger as Rengar jumps in from the side with his ultimate, takes him out, and they finally capture the quarry once again in favor of PECS. PECS holding on to this 3-cap very, very diligently.
Alright, and a little bit of a frame rate dip for any future VOD viewers that are watching right now around that area of the game, but it seems to have smoothed out now. Necrogen hanging out in those bottom bushes there, pays Evelyn Child Sport still tentatively in a good position. Painkiller over there. Painkiller finds Sauron, or does Sauron find Painkiller? You guys tell me. And Armor diving straight into that, but Hextech Sweeper goes off to reveal his bushes for a moment. Infeed taking a little bit of a snowball right there, and both teams, one on either side, they're both looking for an engagement. It's going to be one guy that gets out in a bad spot, and things are going to go very awry once that one person gets caught. But the question is, who is it going to be? What's going to cause this engagement to happen? Feel the Vibe has wedged in there, and Nunu's gone top, and that's forced the enemy team to break up. Pays Evelyn Child Support has to split apart in order to deal with Nunu. Nunu throws down an absolute zero, but there's really no one for it to connect with, unfortunately. Captain Blueberry doing a lot of damage to Chris I Am up there, but he's going Arcane Shift over the wall, and a couple members of Feel the Vibe had circled back around the other way to deal with Painkiller, which brought them away from the tower. Garrison gets thrown down preemptively, knowing those minions were going to come up to that point. Ezreal is able to take down Singed. However, Sauron and Buddha Rice are still alive, and they are the problems. Is Half-Hearted going to be able to be the solution to this game? Can he take down Buddha Rice and get that point?
Man, Feel the Vibe finally gets their 3-cap back, but Confederaris is left alone here at the Boneyard. Definitely going to get at least a neutralize, if not the capture. Diligently channeling onto this tower, the minions trying to stop it, but it's not going to be enough. Minion finally dies. Can Garen get here in time? Confederaris, the minions are here, though. They will be able to finish it regardless. That's a capture for PECS, still holding on to that 3-cap nonetheless, and Confederaris being quite durable with that shield, as I talked about before, using that Crimson Strike to just clear out the minion waves and just keep this for as long as possible. Actually going to kill Sauron before Garen is able to put out any more damage. Commentators should eventually know. There's the shield once again and gets a double kill all alone. Diana doing work here at the Boneyard, stalling Maokai, and PECS once again captures the windmill. A sudden 4-cap in favor of PECS. If Feel the Vibe is not able to neutralize the tower right now, they're in deep trouble. The clock is ticking down. They haven't reached the tower just yet. Vayne finally gets to the quarry, but it's not going to be enough, and PECS is going to win.